InShalla and Ashe. Blessings to you, my energetic beings, and welcome to the Cancer full moon. Look at this super juice I just have here. So are you ready for the musing moon meditation? That should be in your inbox. If you don't have it, simply subscribe. And I truly live and love by the moon. She is the goddess. But I do these meditations as a gift for you and to you for being part of my little village, my tribe. So blessings to you for subscribing. It's truly greatly appreciated. But we are filtering our feelings through our decisions, and it might feel like we're in a coffee press with the grounds being kept away from the juice. Just filling into the threads of change, these waves, what needs to shift about our future lives and our future lines even. Or what path do you want to take to tune into the waves of our feelings, Emotions should really feel juicy, peaceful, and calm, and joy. My virtues, basically. But read through your story and edit your chapters, even a paragraph or two, to be in your own soul's harmonic. But it's January 17th, and welcome to today's daily snippet. I am your host, a little slow on the snail, but I'm a practicing holistic Sha'medium. I do subtle energy surgery. I merge the indigenous technologies with subtle energies, the elements, the elemental beings, and really so much more. But honestly, my intention is to merge these realms, the indigenous and subtle, to assist you in navigating your prime directive, your inner genius, just reintroducing you to and through the being that resides there. My name is actually Tonya D, and welcome to my virtual medicine room. If you're interested in a card for the day, just simply like, comment, or share my show. By helping me, it really helps you as well. However, the cards of the day, as juicy as they are, get rid of my cute little moon there. Whee, there we go. So I'm using my, it's called the Moon Woman, I think. I'm not sure. But we have, the Moon Woman. But this is a symbol of fertility, abundance, and pregnancy. It's a womb within a womb, within a womb, within a womb, within. So in ancient customs of lunar cultures, people who actually followed the lunar moon and rituals, it was believed that a baby that's yet to be born is made up of moon's blood, but which is also curious, in indigenous cultures, before a baby is born, it actually, through ritual, they pick out a name and see who the spirit is coming through. And so for this kind of reason, this methodology, I guess is what I'm saying, this cosmology, the woman pregnant, that's why the blood's moon doesn't menstruate. Makes sense. So it's like both pregnancy and the monthly cycles were kind of believed to be directly affected by the moon herself, the goddess, which is so true. But also I see this as knowing that our ancestors, that we're a derivative, having been in the womb of the grandmother, through the ovaries, and our mother within that womb. So it's kind of a polarity of the other side, inside and out, and the outside in, the ancestors. So ancestralization was actually a term that was coined by Melodoma Somé, my mentor, my friend, and really so much galactically more, my medicine friend. The West has really taken it for a ride, but the origin of the name ancestralization really came from him. He's actually in Dano right now, being ritualized in the proper way, his rites in his village, the grief, the song, the dance, the Dagara, in Burkina Faso of West Africa. So, but ancestralization was brought to the West by him, his village, his medicine. So that should be honored and actually carried on. And honoring those before us actually honors ourselves as well. And just don't mind Diddy in the background. My backyard village is going through its own chaos again. I might have to grab it, Diddy. However, next up we have, it's called the Moon Dancer. I'm not sure I put that in the show notes. I think I just called it the dance. But there's kind of a chorus, Moon Dancer. People dancing around the magic of the moon, drumming and having a fire, which, I'm going to be doing that. But it's the merge of our spirit with the grandmother moon, and it's the dance for our tribe, and also for her tribe, so in the world and of the world. So it's this moon dancing song, where all the hearts will be as one in the beat of the drum, like when we dance with you and when we dance with the other, dancing under and for the goddess herself, the moon. It's actually a song called The Moon Dancer. But with this full moon in a few hours, it's going to be apexing. So I myself might be building an outdoor fire, which would totally be great. But for now, I literally have 2 sliced lemons simmering, 2 tablespoons Celtic sea salt. You can use any kinds of sea salt. I just happen to have Celtic. Rosemary sprigs with some cinnamon sticks, kind of releasing the threads as with an intention as you kind of stir the pot that's simmering that no longer fit, the thoughts, the emotions that don't fit into the seams anymore. It's like we're shedding our skin to allow the new to come out, just simmering and stirring into the pot our intentions, and give it as an offering as well to nature with the apex of this moon. But I also have some rituals in my musing moon meditation as well. It's either in my offerings in the club, my musing corridor, or at tonyad.tv. But next up, we have what's called the three-faced goddess, which I pulled this card before. So this is like saying that we are shining. We are our own illuminating goddess. All the colors of the rainbow, I would call it the sacred grid, the rainbow grid, the cosmic source. We change just like the moon does. We are the goddess of the same face that we are. We are a maiden. We are a woman. We are a grandmother. We are all the things. We fill up. We become full. We empty, right? So it's this endless cycle of life, and everything is a cycle, whether it's the moon, the seasons, the yin, the yang, life, death, etc., etc. So we are one. We are the same goddess all of the time, of those same origins. The origins, the ancient wisdom, the same soul. We're slipping into stories, curious and mysterious, mystical is what I was thinking, appearing, disappearing. We fall, we rise, the yin and the yang, the alive. I wouldn't say the dead. I think we transcend to a different form, basically. But we're always returning back to life. We're changing faces. So we are this great goddess, and we're always the same woman at the same time. And we are the three-faced goddess. So we're all of these things. I think what I admire about the Dagara is not just the ancestors, but they have the grandparents actually communicate more with their children to keep the ingredients stirring, the wisdom of the origin, the ancient. And then on the elemental realm, which is curious, we have this yang metal horse. All that metal for sure. Day, month, year, and it's also hidden in the month and the year branches as well. So it for sure is a decisive decision-making day. It's kind of abrupt. Yang is more abrupt and scratchy. That yin is refined. But our day, it is supported, but that support comes at a cost because the earth is a yin energy and our day is a yang metal. So that's like being supported, but at what cost? And we have yin metal on the stems, and that's a sign of a secret enemy or enemies that are hidden in the branches of the oxen as well. So it really is this mental kind of decision kind of day. Corruption might come out. How's that going to feel? The moon in her home sign, interesting. I'm going to muse on that a little bit. Threads for a minute. But the yang metal, that's unrefined metal, that's surrounded by sibling rivalry. The ancestors and the parents that support only if the support actually benefits them. So that's like your parents wanting you to grow up to be a doctor, but your heart really wants to be a singer. You're living their life, not your own. But our horse is a lone horse. He's totally alone. I mean, we have earth in all those branches. We have metal, so much. I would call in, the element of, I would call in the element of fire, probably, and also earth, or nature, actually. But the energy of the horse, if you're born between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m., you have the energy of the horse. You have a big heart. You're willing to do for everybody. You do this to the point that you might even get exhausted and putting yourself last. Even sometimes you're going to turn around and appear hard-hearted or self-absorbed because you've actually shut down. You've cut off your emotions in order to not lose your heart again, whether it's in a relationship, in an area where you don't receive the appreciation or the support for who you are and also for what you do. It's like that don't touch me kind of feeling. It's scratchy. That that can be the cry of the horse. Don't touch me. If you've ever been around horses, sometimes they kind of back up when you go to pet them because they don't want to get in touch with their emotions or their feelings that continually are getting beaten down. So as a horse, you could have problems with your heart, your nervous system, especially if you wear yourself out, possibly having speech issues, stuttering. Yeah, the horse. But you can become even a workaholic and forget lack of connection with somebody who's special to you. And you work to really forget how lonely you are at times, just getting lost in your job to make life more tolerable. So what I would say is a horse person, you could have actually sexual hiccups or hangups, fertility problems. You could fear the relationship that you actually want the most. So on the physical body, it manifests kind of as backaches, tinnitus, ears ringing, cystitis, cysts, impotence. Those are just some of those issues. And because of this, there can be this simmering rage beneath the surface. Because if you fear getting out there and experiencing love for what it is, experiencing the give and the take between two energies, two individuals. So as a horse, you're never detached about your mate, your second child even, or your mother's mom and your dad's dad, which is very curious. So these relationships are always kind of scratchy with emotion and also with intrigue. So you might have this internal rage from interacting with them over the years, or even feel betrayed at various times, or the opposing opposite as well. You know, mention any of these to people around you, and you might respond differently, and it might surprise those. And most often, you know, horses are mild-mannered normally. They would stream no nonsense from these people in their life. They just bump them out. But the continual anger that's stewing inside, that kind of manifests physically in the body, energetically, as gallbladder or sciatica problems, migraines, gallstones, stuff like that, as time and space goes on. So those are kind of alert signals. But the horse, the energy of the horse generally has self-esteem issues that can keep these people, and all of us really, we all have the horse somewhere energetically at some time and space, but that can keep us from breaking the plow horse to becoming a thoroughbred, a racehorse. So our angst over our own self-worth and our feelings that if I can do it, anybody can lead us to undervalue ourselves. So then we sacrifice for the sake of others and then wind up with having problems like colitis or appendicitis, hamstring problems, shows up in the body. So you can find it hard to live up to those conditional standards of others as well, you know, the conditions, the condition of. So just having problems with possibly your intestinal tract as well, which is curious with all that metal there, because that is the colon and the lungs, the breath, right? There's all these things. So it might show up as diarrhea or constipation when dealing with people on the job, the efforts for working, being the workhorse. So then what happens oftentimes is feeling guilty. So you try to be the everything to the everybody. But as always, there's, you know, the other side of the coin. In a nutshell, if you want to be a healthy horse, you need to know that you really are the thoroughbred. You are the racehorse. You're not the plow horse, which honestly, I don't think there's too much wrong with being a plow horse either. However, you do need to feel the love and also the adoration from the crowd, the collective consciousness, and allow your heart to be that beacon, to be open, and just let people back into your life. So as a horse, the energy of it, you need to take action to change your life and not get stuck in the mud, keeping life safe and away from harm. So you need to come to terms with the key people, the key players in your life, and really find the adoration within the love of them and for them from a place of God, or literally of letting it all go. I would call it your sacred space. So you need to kind of value yourself and also your sacredness, your sacred space, and know that you are special and you really deserve that spotlight as well. And it's really okay to have more than others. You don't need to feel guilty about it. Each one of us really has a different path to take, a different journey. So there's no need to feel guilty if yours is better or appears better than somebody else's. There's a transformation of power with our ego identity. That's kind of what this is. It's the part of us that we take action with and what we identify with. It's our character. So this energy might kind of feel like that, where our identity is on the line, it's in the threads, just weaving a new pattern of our character, a new symbolic language, a new reputation. Our root center is online. So it's like feeling safe in the net of that security. So sometimes our ego can put us out there without an intention. We feel like we're in a pressure cooker and the pressure is on. Do we need to compete? I don't think so. Do we need to be a performance junkie, outdoing others at the risk for ourselves, our own heart? I mean, this is kind of the heart's thread here with this horse. So energetically, to manage our ego space, I prefer the spiritual heart over the spiritual ego, two different frequencies there. And myself, have you noticed all the spiritual egos that came out of the cosmic closet over the last few years? It's kind of interesting. Let me know there in the comments if you have. But you might have had an inner tremor, an energetic hiccup, a trivial pursuit. So it's best to get the horse into the race. Take a walk, go do some cardio. The energy of today is really to get our move on. Sitting is not going to help us, or stewing. So moving, and it's just like this cosmic merging, this unifying of our body, our mind, our soul, and our spirit in the cosmic soup. The acumen of having a spiritual heart, and chanting and doing rituals, just really getting and prepping for the goddess of this apex, the moon. So anything that we do or that we can do to burn off this excess energies, these little nuggets, nervousness, anxiety, those little threads, that's going to ground us and bring us into a place of peace for that pause. We're kind of in this initiation portal, one to initiate the transformation, the change, the vitality. So it's like, what shifts do you need to make in your life to be on the surfboard, or in today's case, to ride that racehorse, to become the thoroughbred, to come out of the gates? So it really is kind of like this time to kickstart our heart. That might be why I chose the past weekend to really launch Voices of the Otherworld. My Otherworldly podcast is actually live as well today. And again, you can find that in my corridor or at Tonya D podcast or Spotify, Apple. It's kind of variety, whatever's easier for you. It's on my websites, actually. But we are initiating the change that we want to see in our lives. So hopefully we are initiating the same changes, or some kind of change with little or no interference. But this change is ultimately, like all change does, it stimulates a chain reaction. So when you change you, other people around you see the change, and it kind of instigates them, hopefully, to change as well. So the best thing to do is to take the energy of initiation and acting and creating the reality that you truly want to be in, the highest timeline of your best self. Or, I always say I awaken to the best possible timeline. And also to just be aware, hyper gate aware to your reactions to other people in those streams, because it can really create a domino effect, a chain reaction into those ripples and the effect. So you kind of want to starve the stream, if you will, like create a boundary and clear away that energy and stop it from the back and the forth. It's like when people, you took my whoopee, where is my chocolate? Or whatever that is. So really the best thing to do is just stay in your own stream, be in your neutrality zone, anything and everything that isn't in alignment with your moon's intentions, just allow them to flow down that stream energetically, even burn them in a fire, Fill into your threads of your emotions, your intuition, your alert signals, they're going to beacon if there is one. They always do. It's just if we're tuning into the feelings, the flow, the water, or if we're getting spiritual insights. That's kind of what I see that as. But our feelings really are our best tool, the best tool that we have to navigate these waves for the initiation into the new vibration. The shift is kind of on. So it's like, what are your personal dreams? What are your plans to loving yourself? Galactically, do you have your sights on some personal, creative, otherworldly visions? It's where our heart's wishes are merging with our beliefs. So it's like, believe it and you will see it, and be devoted to your own personal dream. It's going to manifest if it's heartfelt, heart-centric, by the full moon in Capricorn. It's kind of, it's like the windshield wiper kind of effect in a weird way. So just be empowered, walk your own path, go in your own direction. It really is like being on a racetrack and things are aligned. So those are the ingredients that really need to be in alignment. First, of course, is our heart, first and foremost, our feelings and our spirit, our intuition, where we get those insights. When they are in alignment, that's when it's time to open the gate, hit the gas, the pedal, whatever that looks like. So be the person you want to be now into your galactic future. So if you want to be a writer, start the first sentence. You want a new car, go to the dealership. You want a new career or to live your life purpose, join me for Voices of the Other World or any other offering I have in my online portal. But the herb of the day, super excited about this. I did a little bit of research, had some energetic glitches myself this morning. Oh, there's the moon. There we go. Yeah, it was kind of interesting. But generally, Capricorns, you know, you might think being ruled by Saturn to align with just herbs like grounding herbs, earthly herbs, oils and herbs really, like patchouli or cypress or vetiver, which I talked about at the beginning of the season, I believe. But being that it's this cosmic earth element, being that Capricorn is an earth sign, it's this cardinal earth, it's inspired for change. Nature herself really invites in some brighter and lighter energy, some smells, some scents, our olfactory system, right? Might be like spikenard or lime, citrusy. But two of nature's useful herbs can also be found in alignment with Capricorn. I'm going to go over the other one tomorrow. But for day, we have comfrey. This is comfrey root. So generally, it's a remedy for skin imbalances and ruptures, but it's efficient more when it's fresh. And every herbalist or kitchen witch should probably have this in their garden. But you can make a compress from fresh leaves or a tincture from the juice if it's expressed. It reduces swelling, it facilitates healing. Sometimes it's used on the skin to treat wounds and reduce inflammation, sprains, and broken bones. That bones are kind of associated with Capricorn. That's why I went with this one. But the roots and the leaves, they contain a substance that really helps new skin cells grow. So comfrey presses, you know, when you're getting a facial, along with other substances that kind of reduce inflammation and just keep the skin healthy and glowing and flowing. So comfrey ointments, they've been used to heal bruises as well as muscles and ligaments and sprains and all kinds of bones kind of things. However, you know, it can be dangerous if it's absorbed through the skin. So harmful amounts might build up in the body. So just be careful if you use an ointment containing comfrey. Never really use it on broken skin, if you will. Really do your homework. I'm just bringing you in some using fun energetically to just share some insight. So with our root center online, the gravitational pull to root ourselves into the earth, bringing down spirit in and through to the sacral, and to root it into the earth star. So it's like colors of red, all the reds, even an earthen red, a sacral red. You could bring in the sound of fire, the heat of fire, the ha, the lam to chant as well. You can check those out in the show notes for you. I usually kind of do these things when I'm wandering in a car by myself. That seems to be when I do that, or when I'm walking Didymus, really. So you could do either the elementals or the energetic centers or both. But an affirmation to get you on your way on this magical full moon day. Honestly, I have some pretty fun rituals in my musing moon meditation, but the one I just described in the show is great as well, especially when you can offer it out to nature. But I would see your future self and what you want to be and see in the future. It's like the mists of Merlin. The mists of Merlin are on their way. So it's time to really clear out the cosmic cobwebs and burn the past, literally, as an offering to this moon to really transform to the future life that you really want to live in. Hug your future self. Believe it, and it will manifest. And it's like, what are you becoming in your heart space? So I would say something like, I affirm the magical being that resides within me, opening a new door to my future self, living my prime directive, my inner genius from my heart space, and kind of hold those threads. I mean, I would probably say that over and over for the next 6 months, besides waking up to my highest possible timeline. But anyways, InShalla and Ashe. Remember to comment and I'll pull a card for you. And I'll see you on the other side.